Hello. I'm not addicted to streaming or anything. I just have time. I decided why not do it again. It's gonna be a short stream, so don't worry. I'm fine. Um, Look at me. I'm literally Otana Blue. Start. Episode 2. Good morning. The Golden Witch has been. Oh fuck! I didn't change my title. Okay, let's change it, and then I change it in the words. That's what I forgot. Change my title. Can you hear me? You can. Okay, good. Ooh. Endless day. Let's go. Wait, did I wrote 9 the wrong way? Why am I like this? Okay, title changed. I need to send it to myself so I don't forget to change it later. Clap, clap. Are you ready? Oh shit. I'm so ready. Episode 2. Good morning. Oh, good morning! I know. The Golden Witch has been waiting impatiently for you. Please take your seat opposite it here at the table. Have you rest well and deliberate over how will you play? The witch has high expectation of you and is determined to come at you right from the opening. I too am looking forward to observing your moves. The difficulty level is first rate. The witch plans to make you suffering in an instant. Cool? I'm ready? Holy shit, they know! What a meta experience I'm having right now. I fell asleep. I was playing it all the day yesterday. When I fell asleep, then I came back to it and they greeted me with the morning. And Beatrice is like, holy shit. So, what are we gonna do? The story is undoubtedly nothing more than a fantasy. It could not possibly have any relation to real persons, organizations, places, or events. Price. Look, Church-sama! Нет. First, I'm talking. Ow. Ow. So, I thought that murders were made by a person, a real life person. But Beatrice simultaneously exists in this world. But they say that it was Beatrice who did it. And now we need to find out a way to deny that Beatrice could do it. So what we're gonna do is to find an evidence, not an evidence, a way of a murder being committed by anybody but not Beatrice, right? Something like that? Oh, why am I so bad at talking? Aren't I a streamer? For how long I'm doing this? Why am I still so bad at expressing my thoughts? Leave life study? Oh, look at this sad face in the middle of a screen. Why is it like this? Oh my god, I was looking at my second monitor and it has some weird shit over this face. Oh, it's a flat fish. That's why it has face. I thought it's a huge whale and it's part of the whale's, like, face. Okay, I'm sorry. Look, George-sama. They're so cute. Look, look. She's cute. Look at this outfit. She looks so good. Shannon found a pair of hammerhead sharks playfully swimming in a tank and made a fuss like a grade schooler seeing an aquarium for the first time. I know it was an aquarium. Yeah, they're really cute. I almost want to eat them. I'd feel sorry for them. Did you know? I heard that the only people in the world who come to an aquarium and say that the fish looks delicious are Japanese. Is that so? I'm sure even Americans and Italians would want to eat this. Yeah, that's true. I would want to eat it. Um, um, uh, those clothes look good on you. Yeah, true! Really? Shan embraced her chest with both hands in embarrassment. She apparently felt like she was being made fun of for wearing those clothes that she wasn't used to. She looks awesome! You look awesome! That's a really good outfit! Even though George's face didn't show it, the truth was that even he was surprised at how easily those tremendous words had left his lips, and he was as embarrassed as Shannon on the inside. However, when he saw how embarrassed Shannon was, he started to feel as though he was teasing a girl he liked, and instead of embarrassment, ticklish amusement welled up to him. Wait, that isn't just a feeling. I really am teasing the girl I like. It pains me to admit it, but I used to think that such embarrassing expressions had fallen so far out of use they no longer show up in a manga. On the contrary, if I had seen a couple acting like that, I'd have felt like throwing rocks at them. So true? However, even if rocks were thrown away at us now, I'm sure they would be just like confetti celebrating us. Now, I can't even remember those lonely days, when I felt jealous of couples who were completely oblivious of their surroundings. To use an old-fashioned phrase, this would be truly rose-colored days. I was so entranced that I no longer even noticed the big tank of world's largest aquarium. Instead, I saw only Shannon happily playing with the fish and her changing emotion showing on her face. It's amazing, isn't it? It's my first time seeing a tank large enough for a whale to swim in. I heard that this tank is the biggest selling point here, and that it's the biggest in the whole world. Is it so? That's amazing. It's really wonderful. It doesn't even look like a tank at all, but rather like this sliced off a part of the sea with a knife and brought it here. Oh, that sounds awesome. It does, doesn't it? This is a splendid little sea. Despite its size, I hadn't thought of the tank as anything more than a tank. That's why I thought your expression about slicing off a part of a sea with a knife was so interesting. No matter how far humans broaden their experiences, in the end they can only hold a single personal worldview. Maybe that is why it's so interesting to interact with someone who has a different worldview. I said that to her honestly, and she responded. Certainly, this might not be the real sea. But if those little guys swimming in here believe that that's a sea, then it certainly is a sea. What is this meta shit, excuse me? Even though they're inside of finite, what? Finite tank? Like infinite, but finite? The sea is finite too. No, even if it is infinite. How much would we cover in the whole fuck. Rip, awful start. The sea is finite too, so even if we were infinite, how much could we cover in our whole lives? I'm sure that it will be so much smaller than the sea. Certainly, it's ironic, isn't it? Even though the world is so vast, most of us live our lives without even leaving our own country. All it takes is belief that it's a complete world, for even the bottom of a narrow well to be a proper world. And I see, oh no, I'm so dead. But it's fine. In my eyes of a oh, I can do it, it's fine. Why am I like this? I'm not nervous, I just can't do it for some reason. In the eyes of the frogs who live here. Shannon, who spent her days as a servant on a smile island 10 kilometers in circumference called Lokujima, said that with a smile. Is this before? Turn of a Golden Witch. Ooh. Should I click? Shinomiya Butler. Okay, let me pull myself water where it's going. Actually, a really pretty background, isn't it? Look at it. It's awesome. Shinomiya George, Shinomiya Jessica, Shinomiya Maria. Shinomiya Kinzo, Shinomiya Kraus, Shinomiya Ivo, Shinomiya Natsuhi, Shinomiya Hideyoshi. Oops. Shinomiya Rudolph, Shinomiya Rosa, Shinomiya Kiri. Nanji Terimasa, Shannon, Kanan, Gori Toshiko, Gronoe, Genji, Beatrice. Oh, Beatrice is here! I'm so happy. I'm so happy she's here. Umineko no Nakukura ni, Rondo of the Witch, and Reasoning. What Rondo means? Dwarf Summer. After we finished walking through the whole aquarium, we had slightly late afternoon lunch at the restaurant with a nice view. Rondo is a musical form that contains a principal theme, something called the refrain, which alters with one or more contrasting themes, generally called episodes. Ooh, and occasionally referred as digestions or couplets. Can I learn more? Rondo emerges from Baroque period and became increasingly popular during the Classical period. The earliest examples of compositions enjoying rondo form are found with Italian opera arias and choruses of the first year of the 17th century. These examples use a multi-couplet rondo or chain rondo, ABACAD, known as Italian rondo. Ronde. Nah, it's useless. I have no idea what it means. In the 18th century, composers in the Romantic period continued to use this form with some regularity. Some Romantic era composers to produce music utilizing rondo from Beethoven, Brahms, Ravalk, Mendelssohn, Schubert, Schumann, Strauss, Tchaikovsky. Rondo was continued to be used by some 20th century and 21st century composers, often by those with a neoclassical aesthetic or by those composers referencing classical music composition in some fashion. Some 20th century composers to utilize rondo include Berg, Bartók, Ellington, Prokofiev, Hindemith. Perhaps the best known example of rondo form is Beethoven's For Elise. Okay. It didn't help me. Okay, so we know that it's a musical form, and they using it in the games. They're using it kind of metaphorical sense, as if Beatrice is playing her music or making her rondo, compositing her own songs through interactions, through trying to be resurrected to something. I don't know. After we finished walking through the whole aquarium, we had a slightly late afternoon lunch at the restaurant with a nice view. Any boy's heart will jump about it at the side of buffet. I myself was like that in the past, but with Shannon beside me, this buffet felt different. I couldn't shamefully make a huge pile of nothing but my favorite foods. Why not? I was, how should I put it, worried about my appearance, and chose a menu suited for a snob: toast, salad, and coffee. What's wrong with toast, salad, and coffee? I mean, coffee sucks, but toast and salad? Nothing wrong with the toast and salad. If I were by myself, I'd have made a pile of greasy stuff like yakisoba, mashed potatoes, gratins, and the like. What's wrong with yakisoba? What is yakisoba, in your opinion, and potatoes and gratins is like plebs food? What is this? Shannon, is this enough for you? If it is, then I guess women are animals with really bad fuel efficiency. I didn't mean to imply that. On Shannon's tray there were only tea and a salad. Holy fuck, people! You should eat! Starting a relationship with lying to each other and trying to pretend to be better than you are is kinda weird, to be fair. But whatever. Who am I to talk about this? Maybe the very idea that she could get away with at least one more dish indicated I was thinking with my male stomach. What about you, Judge Sama? Will that be enough? I think it's better for men to eat a little bit more. But you normally eat more than that for lunch, don't you? Oops, right. You already know how much I eat from where I have lunch on the island. Yes, so I was wondering whether your stomach isn't feeling well today. Shan was showing concern that I wasn't feeling well. Apparently, I had made her worry with my stupid attempts to impress her. And in any case, it didn't seem like my stomach was going to let me keep this presence up any longer. I confess already. I was just trying to look cool. I just held back because it was with a girl. I thought so. Considering how much you eat during lunch the family conferences, I thought that this wasn't nearly enough. Please, don't be so reversed. Feel free to go and choose another dish. Just one? This isn't fair. All the embarrassment is on me. What about you then, Chan? Do you always manage your work for the Shinomiya family while eating so little? Shannon grew silent and blushed bright red. Apparently, I wasn't the only one putting on the front. When I realized that, my embarrassment disappeared completely. It isn't enough for you either, is it? Yes, normally you eat more than this for lunch. A woman's stomach is made of magic, so this is enough. No, it's not. Eat properly. This must mean that we're both trying to impress each other. Let's not hold back anymore, shall we? I smiled to show that I wouldn't make fun of her anymore and stood up from the seat. We've come all the way to Okinawa. It would be a waste if we didn't eat some bitter melon. I'll go get some fried bitter melon or something. Come with me, Shannon. Come on! Yes! To anyone watching us, we might have seemed like a pretty humorous and above all embarrassing couple. Why George always thinking on how they look? Who gives a shit? But it's only after becoming a couple that you realize this banter means the world to us and is our world. So no matter how good we look we might have been getting from other people, we wouldn't even notice. Okay, nice. Indeed, at this age, I finally understand the feeling of couples who want to endlessly flirt without any regards to their surroundings. After I returned with a plate piled up with fried food, Chan arrived with a lovely cake. While laughing at a fake stoicism, we resumed our lunch. It's a shame that it's so cloudy considering this restaurant has such a view to the sea. Our window seat, which we were lucky to get, showed us seaside scenery so grandiose that it didn't even fit entirely within our field of vision. However, because of a cloudy sky, it was far cry from its normal beauty. Yes, it is. If it had been clear, we would have seen quite the deep blue sea. Yes, I imagine you're used to seeing the sea under Kijima, but the sea here would surely have been an exceptional blue. It's a real shame. But no matter how blue it is, the sea I see during work might be as well grey. But today, I'm not working. So, I mean... Apparently, Sharon was doing her best to say an embarrassing line, but I grayed harshly. So close. If only you say, when I look it was you, even the grey sea looked deep blue. I have given you full marks and reward. Um, uh, uh I'm sorry. Wanna hear that the reward would have been? A kiss? Come on, say it. Um, if you don't mind. No, I wouldn't tell you. That's not fair. It is. When I was in elementary school, I was always the kid that got bullied. When everyone teased me, I grew nervous and speechless to the delight of the police. Back then, I wondered why everyone teased me. But now, teasing Shannon like that, I understand why. That's not why. That's not why. That's not why they did it to you when you were a child. That's not it. That's not the same. This is so much fun. I can play with your emotions however I please. And I can have them all to myself. Oh, be careful. Right now, I can't think of any higher pleasure, which is exactly why I have to treat you lightly. I don't want you to get embarrassed and have a bad time, so I decided to end this topic here and then. It's not good to be too persistent. When you finish with your lunch, do you want to take on a walk on the beach? Perhaps she will clear up and we'll be able to see picturesque sea? That's a nice idea. I'd like to do that. Okay, that's what we'll do. But that looks like a really delicious cake. I wonder if I should get one like that too. You mustn't. If you eat cake after already eating so much, you will get fat. Hideyoshi-sama's blood seemed to run pretty thick in you, Hideyoshi-sama, so if you don't take care, you will get chubby. Why are you like this, guys? So, Shannon, would you stop liking me if I got fat? Shannon, would you like me if I was a worm? I wouldn't stop liking you if you did. I didn't mean it this way. I mean, if you don't take good care of your body, your health will... Oh... Mother run me all the time too. Maybe I also need to take a Tai Chi Chow or something to get to some exercise. If you want to lose weight, it's best to stay by reconsidering your eating habits instead of doing intense exercise. The exercise has to come on top of that, or you won't get any results, I hear. In other words, you're telling me not to eat cake, right? Then I guess I'll just have to gaze at you while you stuff your cheeks with this cake, Shannon. Maybe the whole cake is too much. But maybe just half of one would be alright. Here, it's really delicious. Is she gonna feed me? Shannon cooked her own cake and tried to move half to my salad plate. I had no doubt that she wanted to share the flavor of the delicious cake with me. Even so, I deliberately and meanly pulled my plate away from her. She blinked her eyes in surprise. She couldn't seem to figure out she couldn't seem to figure out if that was a result of the cake or not. So I winked, opened my mouth and said, "Ah, this is what you wanted from the beginning, isn't it? Gosh, you're such a pampered child, Charji-sama." Okay, say, "Ah." While still wearing an exasperated face, Shannon offered the cake to me with a fork. Holy shit, I'm so ready. Chomp! It tastes like cheap chocolate cake you could find anywhere. Oh, it's a chocolate cake? I don't want it then. Still, it was exceptional, because eating cake in such an embarrassing way, as if we were the ultimate stereotypical lovey-dovey couple, had been my dream for many years. It made this cake flavors heavenly. If the earth is designed to end someday, I wouldn't have had any regrets if it happened right then. It was such a moment of bliss. Oh, seagulls! After that, we gathered shells, ran from the waves, and enjoyed each other's company while walking along the beach. In the end, the clouds never parted. However, we both believed that our eyes were still reflecting a deep blue sea. Somehow, I'm so happy. It makes me scared. you do say that from time to time. What is it you're afraid of? Um, a servant of the Shiremiya family. For someone like me, to be here together with a member of the Shiremiya family. It just seems like too much for me. I'm also surprised. I didn't trust to meet you today and yesterday, Shannon-chan. We know each other for years now. But we would only ever exchange greetings to the family meetups barely a few times per year. I never imagined we'd become close enough that I could spend time with you like this. It's the same for you too, right? I... Hmm? I did... imagine. No, rather than imagination. It was more like I was fantasizing. You're always so considerate and gentlemanly, so I wondered if we were in a relationship. I just had fantasies of what it would be like. Then our relationship happened thanks to you believing the heart. Magic dwells in the power of dreaming, so I'm sure it was that magic that brought us together. You're right. I really think that it is truly was magic. But, that's not quite right. Every time we met, I saw you as more and more beautiful, and you grew to occupy a large space in my heart. If the same thing happened to you, then the fact that we here today is simply an inevitable consequence rather than something caused by magic or a miracle. No, a miracle did happen, George-sama. She stopped at the water's edge and gazed beyond the sea. A miracle? No, magic. It happened. I was bewildered by this slightly mysterious expression which I sometimes heard her use. Magic, you say? Yes, magic. You probably wouldn't believe me if I say it, so I won't. But the magic definitely had the power to grant the miracle which brought you and me together. You mean like a lucky chant or to make your wish come true? Perhaps. Maybe it was something like that. Except that I wasn't pretend. It was really the real... It was... What? It really was real magic. Perhaps Shannon isn't alone in wanting to create an encounter and a miracle or a chance. It might be universal thing all girls share. For a man like me, the encounter with the girls is a 70% effort to try to please her and 20% raw courage, and only 10% chance. What she believes to be everything carries little relative weight within me. Maybe that way of thinking is in itself calculating and typical of men. I feel like she's just a little bit insecure. So that she like, oh no, he's never gonna look at me, even though she's like awesome. But were I to express this in words, any kind of magic would be broken. I do think that to become this close has taken many fortunes, confessions, and great efforts from both of us. We have this private time together, now only as a result of all those things put up together, and if she wants to call this magic, this isn't strange in the slightest. That's why I answered her the way I did. Yes. If the same fate were repeated 100 times, you and I might have gotten into a relationship like this only once. No way. Our distant and formal connection could have continued right up to now, even as both remained conscious of each other. From the perspective of those otherworldly selves, we are undoubtedly in a miraculous relationship. It's not like that. It really is magic. Perhaps this is something that men will never believe, no matter how often you tell them. Kanako didn't believe me at all, either. I believe you. Because I wouldn't want to break the magic by you not believing it. George-sama. In a small voice, I apologize for making light of your magic. Those words seemed to make Shannon a lot happier. After all, if a part of people believes in the magic of love, it becomes eternal. That's right. I have a request if you'd be willing to indulge me. Yes? What is it? You know how you call me George-sama? It's not that I dislike it, but would you not call me that anymore? Of course, you have to keep up your appearance with our Shiramiya family, so I won't force you to do this during your everyday routine at Rukijima, but when we are alone, I'd rather you call me that. Yeah, let's create that rule. A rule? What would happen if I broke it? Good point. Maybe rule violations do need to have some kind of penalty attached. What should it be? Wanna hear? No, I don't wanna hear. I have to think about what it should be. Yes, George-san. Yeah, that sounds wonderful, doesn't it? I'm so happy, Shannon. I have the name Saya as well. Right. Rules must be fair. I'll abide by it too, and from now on, I'll call you Saya. Alright? Saya? Yes. I put my arm around her shoulder and held her close. Her delicate body was pulled irresistibly towards me, and she leapt into my chest like a doll. As I held her head in my arms, we looked at the horizon together. What a deep blue sea. I'm so happy that we were able to see it together. Me too. It makes me very happy that I could look at such a deep blue sea with you. As we gazed at the grey sea and the light rain began to sprinkle down, we kept listening to each other's heartbeats. That's it? Oh, nice, are gonna die. Oh, good wave! The sound of waves soaked into my ears. No, this is the sound of raging waves. My body, bathed in painfully cold splashes, did not allow me to forget the memory of the day when my old fate was broken and smashed. In the past, tomorrow has been literally like a mirror to me. All I could see in it was the same me existed today. My tomorrow would never be any different from my today. That was my old fate. But at the moment, for the first time, I saw a different fate beyond the mirror. The witch whispered. She tempted me to take a bite out of the fruit of knowledge. She tormented me, saying that as long as I stayed in the prize of a god, I would remain furniture. So I learned to love and decided to choose to become a person. Those days were like sweetly melting honey. But then I hadn't realized that they were beginning of days filled with a new kind of suffering. Taking a motorboat that I had been just told about, I made my way to the islet. No, I couldn't possibly call it islet. I'd rather be more appropriate to call it a reef. It was a torii and a small shrine from the local deity. It was probably built to worship the guardian deity of Rokujima. Even though I didn't know the exact meaning, I understood that it had a holy significance. Despite being a place like this, I took just one more look around to see if there was anyone observing me. So that confirms that you can get to Rokujima not only using one boat, right? Oh, that means not what I want to say. It means that you could get to Rokujima in like multiple spots around the island, so nobody would know where you are if you would want to be an 18th person. The only thing I could see was a stormy ocean, Nijima looking at the distance and the waves breaking against Rokujima's steep cliffside. I readied myself, timidly approaching the small shrine, and looked up the mirror that has been placed here. It was an odd-looking mirror, dim and dirty. If it were the ordinary mirror, that would probably give you a terribly bad impression of its value. However, since the mirror has been offered to a small shrine, that quality made me feel some kind of divinity from it. And I realized it was not merely a mirror. Even if it was nothing more than an old-looking mirror to a non-believer like myself, it actually was in actuality, it was a mirror that had an important meaning. It is really alright to break it after being captivated by honey words? No, this is no mirror. This is inescapable life I have lived until today. My fate. Break it. break it and seize a life from beyond the mirror. If I don't break it, my life will forever be a pair of facing mirrors. Nothing will change in the slightest. The witch whispered, "She tempts me to take a bite out of the fruit of knowledge. Or maybe I have already had a taste of that fruit, because I ended up knowing those maddening emotions, just as Adam and Eve feel compelled to pluck the fig leaf. I can no longer go without breaking this mirror." I fought with conflict for many days. Inside my heart, the virtuous part of me and that part that sided with which repeatedly fought each other. And now, here I am. Did the part of me who is here win or lose? There is only one thing I know. To obtain something, you must be ready to lose something. The coward who don't risk loss and never try to change anything will never be given the key to open the path to a new future. The key is already in my hands. It is to break this. To break it. Is there any other efforts I can make as furniture imprisoned on Rokijima? No. There is nothing but this. Come, have courage. I'll free myself from being mere furniture, and I'll accept my new suffering and become human. These are truly the small and wretched trials I must impose on myself. Now, break it. Break the eternity unchangeable fate that imprisons me into pieces. I raised it high, though back all those days of conflict, and after a time far too brief to do them justice, I finished my reflections and threw it. The thunder roared, crying out against me for my outrageous act. It was truly the wrath of the angels preparing to banish me from eternal paradise. I looked down at the mirror, trembling in my feet, broken into equal parts, and having made sure I had accomplished my task, I looked up at the enraged sky and screamed. I'm not screaming. I kept the promise! Now, it's your turn to keep your promise with me, right? The thunder roared once more. It has already been banished from paradise, so I would have to struggle with myself in order to live. The witch has said it. That's the single element of the world. To lose it means to lose the world. Like how a flask with a hole in the bottom can be filled no matter how much water you scoop into it. I kept the promise. Now it's your turn to keep your promise. Please grant my wish. Beatrice-sama! I'm starting to have an impression that Beatrice is not a bad person, or at least purpose of Beatrice being here. Is it too loud? The purpose of Beatrice being here is to actually help all those people. Even though all the deaths are really gruesome and it make like really bad impression. Is this a new one? No, it's the same as the last time, right? Who are all these people? I love this one actually. The purpose of Beatrice being sent here is to break the chains of captivity and change the status quo of this family. Because it's fucking awful and everybody is miserable. So maybe it's some violent, radical way to change how they view the world and maybe grant them happiness outside of the societal norms, societal expectations that they all attributed to. Does that make sense? Because I don't think Beatrice is a bad guy. What are all of this? What are all the spoilers? Why are they just so I hate when they do this. Who is this? Who is this? Furniture. Uh-oh. My mind wandered. Back to the days when I could barely imagine the happiness I have today. I was at middle school. I was a middle schooler at the time, an ordinary girl who dreamed about love as in normal at this age. Oh, so we're going to be Shannon all this time? Episode 2, Chapter 1, Furniture. So true. An ordinary girl who dreamed about love as is normal at the age. But I really should not have dreamed that dream. Because I'm furniture. Furniture is nothing more than a tool and is not human. For a person less than human such as myself, just receiving my education was more than sufficient happiness. So even thinking about love was more than I deserved. The Shiremiya Family Conference was a customary event held in early October, but relatives would occasionally visit at other times as well. Of course, they didn't come just to drink tea. On this day, Iwa's family had visited the head family on Rokijima. 3 people from Krau's family and the 3 people from Iwa's family has gathered in a parlor, and were having a friendly chat as they updated everyone on their situation. Genji had supposedly told Ginzo of Yawa's family's arrival, but he hadn't calmed down yet. He was probably immersed in his own research and couldn't spare the time. This often happened, so the others waited patiently for the fickle father to calm down. That does sound promising. Study a lot as your father, and do your best to become able to help him soon. Thank you very much. The mentor's father was introduced me to, providing me truly valuable study. Everything I learn is something that can be learned in school. It's not language or math you learn in school. What you study is the attitude to have towards studying. Once you form that basis, you can finally start a long period of study that will last your entire life. People who don't get this will spend the rest of their lives with rocks for brains, totally unable to absorb knowledge. They might get full marks in math and language, but they'll be useless for their company. I mean, it's kinda true. It's kinda true, but the point is not to learn how to study, but to... because a lot of people is studying and gain knowledge in really different ways. So, for example, school education, it sucks. It sucks so bad, it's awful. At least from where I am, it's really bad, it's so bad. And in my case, school education on a subject was solely dependent on how good teacher was and how interested they were in the topic. So I could have some lessons that were awful because teacher doesn't give a shit and we just didn't gain any fucking knowledge in the subject. That's why I don't know any fucking chemistry. But school teacher like biology was much better. But I still don't have any knowledge in biology because I suck and I didn't listen to anybody in school. I was really depressed. But you know, I've learned English and I'm speaking it now, so I'm not that bad, right? I know something. She said knowing actually 4 languages. Totally normal. They might get full marks in math and language, but they'll be useful for this company. That's exactly right. Hideyoshi-san, your education policy is always truly excellent. Also, I wanted to say that Hideyoshi not completely wrong, but his view of the subject matter is kinda on a surface level only. Because different people are different, and everyone should be able to kinda educate themselves in a way that would be interesting to them. Because if you don't hold any interest in subject that you're trying to learn about, you learn nothing and you gain no knowledge and you won't remember anything. So fuck all the boring shit and let's only learn shit we love to learn. Yay! I'm kinda dumb, but you know, I'm trying. You're not a full man yet, George. Always keep that in mind and embrace your studies. Oh, stop that, honey. George is always doing his very best, aren't you? Truly excellent. I wish our Jessica would learn from him. You still holding a grudge about my test scores? I said I am studying for an exam. I'm doing it by my own way. You didn't have to bring it up here as well. Cram it already. When George was praised for his diligence, the conversation would nearly always turn to Jessica, who hated studying. Maybe she doesn't hate studying. Like, a lot of older people love to learn shit, but maybe she just hates the way you try to force you to study. Have you tried doing something different instead of just bugging at her? As every fucking parent in this fucking game does? Jessica made an openly displeased face as though she's known it would come back to her. My. In addition to studying, I think you need to learn to speak a little more ladylike, don't you? It's quite shameful for a daughter who bears the Shinomiya family crest. Oh, but this is charming in itself, don't you think? Times change. The times when we had to fade purity in order for men to allow us to eat ended a long time ago. Yes, I knew you understand, Auntie Eva. Hehe. My headache is truly trying today. Are you alright? Aunt Natsuhi, your face looks off color. Thank you, I'm alright. But every time was frown. I feels like just yesterday when you would run around half naked by the beach and come back soaked. Wasn't Jessica-chan the same? And how she's lady who fusses over how to put on makeup. You really are particular about your eyebrows. You look really cute today. Thank you very much. Nobody noticed, so my confidence was taking a beating. A full smile rose to Jessica's face as a result of your own studies were finally noticed. Eva smiles back just as wildly. Then she turned and said smile towards Natsuhi. Come on, Natsuhi-san. You must take notice of smile changes in your own child. Poor Jessica-chan. She must have wanted your mother to notice first, surely. It's fine. She never notices anything like that. Jessica, I do not think much of you calling yourself Mother She. Apologize. Later, I will speak to you in length about your language. If you head over the annoying little kid, just say so next time. I'm getting out of here. This room is getting stuffy. Jessica! Jessica was still in an unpredictable age with exams right around the corner. Recently, she had chased often with her mother, who was enthusiastic about her education. Excuse me. Jessica making to leave the parlor in a bad mood, and Shannon pushing a servant cart loaded with tea bumped into each other. Ah, Shannon, don't bother with my tea. I'm just going to wander around the garden. M'lady. Shannon, the tea is getting cold. Serve it quickly. My apologies. Shannon hadn't actually done anything wrong, but Natsuhi, who felt like some shame to herself had been shown, lashed out on her emotionally. This is something that often happened in the Shinomiya family, but it seems that Shannon wasn't strong-willed enough to accept it this way. I wonder why we're reading all of this. So far, before the beginning of the first episode was really on point, and a lot of things that were said really connected to overall mystery, but all of that is like Shannon and whatever his name. How's his name? George. Shannon and George, like, development in a relationship. Is the chapter gonna be connected to them? Are they gonna die as a part of the second night or something? Is murders actually gonna change victims? That would be interesting. That was something that often happened to the Shinomiya family, but it seems that Shannon wasn't strong-willed enough to accept it this way. I wonder if it's flashback, or are we in like meta Golden Land or whatever, and we're just looking at Shannon's memories or something? She shrank back and nervously prepared the black tea. She had the unfortunate habit of making more mistakes than she felt intimidated. Her beautiful appearance dispersed a peaceful atmosphere that had been here until just a moment ago. That wasn't really Shannon's fault, but she thought she might be the source and felt the pressure on her chest. Her shaking fingers made the porcelain clatter, and you couldn't have called it graceful, not even as an empty compliment. Nose, that if she gonna antagonize her servant is gonna work worse, and still does it. Why? Why would you do this? She gonna embarrass you in your point of view, and she gonna embarrass yourself, and it's all your fault. Why would you antagonize her? Why would you be mad at her? So annoying. The more beautiful everyone thought it was, the greater the silence felt. The more irritated Natsuhi looked, and the more Shannon covered. What are you doing? Shannon's thin neck felt like it being choked and suffocated by the death god called tension. Death god? Death god? Then George spoke cheerfully, as if to blow away the stiff atmosphere. That's a nice smell. What kind of tea it is? Oh, she doesn't know. This is... No, don't say it. I'll guess. It's a very distinct smell, so I probably know it. It's Earl Grey. I love Earl Grey. If I could drink tea, I would drink Earl Grey. I think it probably is. It's probably Earl Grey. When you get back to the kitchen, check the can. Huh. George-kun, are you knowledgeable about black tea? I'm certainly in the service of company president who knows a lot about black tea. After enough time listening to his expositions, I pick up a little of it. Oh yeah, the president of Okonogi Foods. That sort of in-depth knowledge is his specialty. The names of a tea often refers to the place where it's made, right? So, there is something cultivated from a place called Earl Grey? I have heard this long time ago in England there was an Earl called Grey, and it was named after him. Incidentally, this distinctive smell doesn't come from tea leaves, but from a fruit called bergamot, which is a relative of the mandarin orange. Ooh. Is that so? I never knew that. Having that knowledge, the tea will taste even more delicious, is it? It isn't. It's not even... It's just a fact. How knowing a fact about the tea will help you drink it better. It's just weird. Alcohol and cigarettes are the same. With luxuries, you've gotta appreciate the romance. Knowledge like this deepens its taste. But it wasn't... Nothing was romantic about the Earl Grey. You didn't even know who Earl called Grey is. Maybe he like chopped heads out. What are you talking about? You guys are dumb. It's the same with advertising on medicine. Natsuhi-san, you should try reading the explanation of your favorite headache medicine someday. Fuck you, Eva. A fun idea. Try it tonight. Yes, I shall. It wasn't even clever, Eva. It wasn't even clever. Why the fuck Kraus is get along with this? It wasn't even clever. It's so dumb. Eva, you dumb. Chan-chan, open the pot and have a look. You should be able to find some dried bergamot mixed in with tea leaves. Ah, yes. It is here. Something like dried orange peeled and mixed. Yep. That's probably bergamot. The main ingredient in Earl Grey's scent. The scent is vivid, so it gives the impression of having a sharp taste, but it's a docile taste that easily to drink. It might be lovely to make it with milk. The scent should become more mild. If there's anything left in the pot after you pour it for everyone, you really should make a milk tea out of it and try it out. Ah, yes. Thank you very much. George gave her a small wink. Shan finally realized that George had been doing her a favor by calming down the atmosphere in the room, and he had been doing it for her sake as she had lost her self-confidence. The Shimiya family did not pamper their servants. Why not? They're just gonna work better. Why wouldn't you do this? So if there was any awkwardness, they would be harshly punished. So dumb. So it didn't often happen that they were given a helping hand like this. Thanks to George's concern, Shannon had somehow be able to get a hold of herself and finish serving everything safely. If she was calm when she worked, she could occasionally easily carry out her tasks elegantly and flawlessly. By the time the black tea was laid out on the table and the elegant scent drifted around, the room was completely backed on how it was been in a peaceful mood as everyone praised George's knowledge. Shan wanted to thank him for saving her, but it didn't look like she would get the chance. So she at least thanked him inside her heart, praying to God that George would hear it and push the siren card away. George Nissan has always lent a helping hand in a time like that. We changed the topic or something. Shan and Jessica could be seen in the rose garden. Jessica, having gotten into a fight with her mother, now felt unable to simply nonchalantly wander back into the parlor, and so found herself here, killing time. Then, I think back on it, I feel that maybe it wasn't the first time he has helped me like that. Whether I made careless mistake and George Sama was here, he would always naturally smooth things over and make things harmonious, I think. Maybe it wasn't something as direct as picking up a fork that has been dropped. But that was his way of caring. Even servants have pride. They want to fix their own mistakes by themselves. Because if a guest helped them out like that, they would lose face. He's really good at reading between the lines in those kind of situations. Well, maybe that's George Nissan aesthetic take on a thing. That guy is more of a show-off than he looks. That's not true. I think he's a really wonderful person. Shannon, you haven't fallen in love with George Nissan, have you? Shannon had refused Jessica's words uncharacteristically forcefully, so Jessica cut on immediately. No, I don't think... No, that's not it, I think. Come to think of it, I've never heard any of this kind of gossip from George Nissan. Wait, actually, didn't I hear him say that family-oriented girls were his type? Nice, that fits you perfectly, Shannon. It does? I am not, qualified for that. You sure are qualified. You know each other for years and you're almost childhood friends. They say that when you're they say when have your natural relationship where you don't think of each other as a boy as a girl, it's plain sailing once you go. No doubt. Jessica loved teen magazines with this kind of stories, and she had always on her phone talking excitedly with her friends about that kind of thing. So she had a keen intuition for this kind of romantic topic. So this wasn't the first time a topic like that had been brought to Shannon. But it was certainly the first time she had noticed George as a member of the opposite sex. She was furniture and George was an honored guest connected to the Shramia family. Filler. All of this is filler, feels like to me. She had thought impermissible to even imagine any deeper relationship, so she hadn't thought about it. Jessica was making immense pleasure by poking fun at this since it didn't affect her. Shannon was doing her best to make sure that her blushing cheeks aren't discovered. So if George showed up at a time like this, there would be no way she would be able to keep her cool. They saw George come out through the entrance hall of the mansion. It looked like she had seen him as well. He headed over, waving his hand. Shannon had to frantically try to regain her ordinary composure before George reached them. Grandfather finally came down. Oh, he can do this? Now they're having an adult discussion, so they chased me out. Escaping was the right choice. I threw a kiss at God pristine. Pestilence? What is... pestilence? Then go look grandfathers in the face. You shouldn't speak that way. However, I think grandfather may think of us as such pestilence creature. After all, we came over here specially to ask him for money for business. That's right. That wasn't the customary annual October family conference. Eva family had visited to apply for a business loan from the main family. Kinzo has vast resources, and he lent those out to his children. Of course, this was not the money to lend because they had gotten themselves into financial trouble. However, would they explain their business using the vast amount of money that they borrowed? How much interest would be attached, and how soon could it be repaid? This wasn't a loan for the have-nots. It was a loan for those who were on the offense. That's interesting because after that, they revealed that everyone was a financial pickle. So, does Grandpa actually doesn't care about this, and he just pretend he does, or what is this? Because they all sucks at business, apparently. Kinzo judged strictly whether it was worth lending out his fortune, and after hours he strictly oversaw its use. Did he? Did he though? Maybe he just sucks at finances. So there was occasionally the spectacle where the relatives visited Rokkenjima and explained their business to Kinzo. To the parents, it may well have been a meeting concerning the movement of large sums of money, forcing immense stress upon them. But to Jessica, who lived on an isolated island called Rokkenjima, it was a precious opportunity to meet up with her cousins. So even her bad mood from getting into a fight with her mother was immediately cured by the chant with the infrequent visitor George. My family is a total bunch of tightwads. They probably got money to spare, why not be generous with it? I bet my dad and grandfather are both just being really tight. It's natural to be prudent when lending money. Of course my father had come with a plan by which he can expand his business with what he borrows and which can be definitely repay. Everything else will be up to the presentation. Really, I would have liked to watch alongside and learn, but mother chased me out. I'm a little let down. It seems that Master still scolded Crow-sama and Iwa-sama in just the same way he did when they were kids. I'm sure she didn't want to show that to you, her son. As Shannon hung her head, she thought back on those scenes she had grown used to seeing while working in the mansion. Even Kraus, who acted loftily towards the siblings, was still treated like a child by Kinzo. Shannon herself had often seen Kinzo slapping Kraus or making him sit in Seiza style. It was probably deeply humiliating to have that forced upon him at this age. In the Shinomiya family, taking care not to be present when this happened was one of the greatest tasks of a servant. Of course, it didn't mean that Shannon had been making mistakes by being witness of it. Probably, realizing that and going away might be my duty as her child. Well, at this site, all that aside, the flowers in the garden are truly splendid this year, aren't they? George stretched as he said this, and truly effortlessly he changed the subject away from something that became a little gloomy. This time, Shannon noticed it too. This person, George, was highly sensitive to the mood of a group and was always caring enough to change the subject to something harmonious. It had been so smooth that Shannon hadn't noticed it until today. Today, Shannon had to really admire the behavior of George's. Almost all of the boys Shannon knew on her own age were her classmates during her education, but they were all immature and none of them have had the composure that George did, even though he had been just another guest until moments ago. Now she couldn't describe him with just that. But that was idle thinking, irrelevant to her work as a servant. Shannon tried to chase it away with a small shake of her head. What's up? Oh, no, it's nothing. Shall I prepare some tea? I will prepare some more of that Earl Grey for you. So you remember the name of a black tea. I'm happy. Thank you for concern back then. Shannon was finally able to put her thanks into words. If you wrote them out in the papers, it wouldn't seem like much, but Shannon has needed just a little courage to say them out loud. But George played dumb. What's this? I don't remember doing anything I should be thankful for. It seemed he was being a gentleman in his own way, saying that he hadn't helped her because he wanted to be thanked. It seemed that George's response had more or less predictable to Jessica. She burst out laughing uncontrollably. See? This is it! Isn't he show off? No. Hello? I don't think that. Jessica made fun of Shannon as she remained silent, red-faced. George didn't know the details, but he naturally joined in, laughing the same way. The three of them lazily walked around the garden, talking about what was new. George, as the oldest cousin, talked about his life experiences, Jessica talked about recent life on Rokkenjima, and Shannon talked about her recent work. These silly little topics went round and round in circles. Even when the other stories had been fascinating, Shannon had felt particularly connected to the contents. She was nothing more than a servant, and she had no intentions of delving into her master's life. She simply wanted them to enjoy their time speaking with her, and was only pretending to listen intently and nodding at the right moments. But for some reason, she found talking with George deeply interesting today. Even for things she would normally ignore, she felt like she could feel a kindness hidden beneath the words. For some reason, she wanted to know more things about George, no matter how trivial. So she stared fixedly at him. She thought that as far as looks went, this person, Ushamiya George, was probably about average, and he didn't really stick out. But he was diligent, serious, and deeply thoughtful in a way that allowed him to understand people's hearts and care for them. But she had never been aware of these things until now. She might not have met him many times, but she had known his face for many years. Even so, she had not noticed once until now. So Shannon felt ashamed for this, and her cheeks went red. Maybe George thought that Shannon was appreciating him talking about himself because she continued to relate his personal stories. But Jessica didn't miss a slight change in Shannon, so she turned the discussion around to the topic Shannon wanted to hear about most. Oh yeah, come to think of it. George Nissan, did you finally get a girlfriend yet, or what? Oh, what is this, out of the blue? Normally George's reaction would have been answering off. But for some reason, as she was now, Shannon found herself unable to understand it unless he said it clearly. George-sama is very nice. So I'm sure, he must be very popular with his girls. No, couldn't Shannon? That's pretty mean, cornering him like that. I wasn't trying to be mean. Thank you for your happy wrong impression. It's a shame, but I don't have a relationship with any special girl. As you can see, my looks are below average, and I can speak witfully in a way that can entertain a girl. I don't think it's true, and I think that a man's charm is decided by things you can measure on the outside. That's why, I think that you might be a very charming man, George-sama. Karen has uncharacteristically verbose. Compared to her normal self, she was being very worldly indeed. George looked fairly pleased about hearing his own charm described, but he was just a little surprised at the high price. Jessica, sure now that her own imagination was right on, acted as though she could barely hold back her laughter. Thank you, Shannon-chan. I hope I soon run into a girl gracious enough to find me attractive. Yes, I'm sure you will. I'm sure there's a girl not... I mean, a lot of girls who will recognize your real charm. She probably wanted to say there's a girl not very far away. She avoided saying that much, drawing the final line as a servant. Really, I guess I'm kind of embarrassed. Maybe he'd never been prized that much by a girl. George's face turned just a bright red at Shannon, and she watched the two of them. Jessica giggled sadistically. Well, I'm sure you'll eventually find a wonderful partner, George-san. But I don't think you'll be able to escort your partner as you are now, right? Your braininess may be diligent worker, but it looks like you're totally clueless when it comes to that aspect of your studies. Excuse me for being ignorant. I'll start studying that bit by bit. How would you do this by yourself? Are you gonna watch movies about love? Learn from Uncle Hiroshi? You're making it for all it's worth, aren't you? Men aren't much for girls in this kind of conversation. Normally, when George and Jessica got together, their parents would say George is diligent and admirable and Jessica is lazy and rude. That's harsh. So it was probably irresistible fun for Jessica when their roles were finally reversed. George also realized that, so this time he was content with being the one who was teased. Then, George-san, as long as you're okay with this, why not practice a bit with Shannon? Keep Shannon entertained all day long on a date. What do you think? What are you, my lady? When she heard Jessica Dash's plan, Shannon's face turned bright red and dots of smoke rose from it as a poof. That's very attractive plant, but I feel bad for Shannon-chan. I wouldn't just be wasting her precious day off. I'll also be butting in on the ideal moment where she's been able to be alone with someone she really has feelings for. I couldn't do something so boorish. I also, don't have a person I have feelings for or anything, so, caring, what? So, caring for me like this, yes, it's unnecessary. Shannon's blood had all rushed to her head, and it looked like even she didn't know what she was blabbing about. Real? Jessica, who knew how Shannon normally was, seemed to find this really comical. She couldn't hide her cracking laugh anymore. Is it true? I can't believe that a cute girl like you would be single, Shannon-chan. I'm a servant, so, I don't have any opportunities to meet boys, and... Which means that in the future, if Shannon gonna have any chance of getting herself a wonderful guy, she needs practice with relationship, right? So, you each want the same thing. Alright, that will work nice. Jessica responsibly cheered the two of them on. Now George was also hanging his head, red-faced. George, I've been calling for you. Couldn't you hear me? Since Eva appeared in what already was an embarrassing situation, both of them became even more flustered. Jessica was in stitches. Mother! Sorry, our conversation got complicated. I didn't notice. Oh, Eva-sama, my dearest apologies! It sounds like you kids... Really... What? We're getting really excited. You're all about that age. I remember when I was like that. You must have no end of things like to talk about. It was bad. Oh, come on, Auntie Eva. You're still so prime. Please tell us how you and Uncle Hideyoshi met. Oh my, there's no way I can tell you that. You're so young. So, what is it, Mother? You called because you wanted something, right? Your father and I have just finished talking. We're going to talk to Grandfather about you, so come on. About me? What could that be? The same topic you all were just having. Remember? That topic? Oh, that topic. That isn't really something we need to talk to Grandfather about, is it? What are you talking about? Wait, George-san, you aren't getting married to someone. Congratulations! No! Didn't I just say I don't have any special woman? This isn't something to brag about, is it? Seriously? Eva smiled bitterly, looking a little exasperated. Ah, I got it. George-san, I'm one of those, right? A marriage meeting. A marriage meeting? Well, yeah. Haha. As a man, George undoubtedly wanted to find a partner by himself and carrying care of himself. So it seems that he found the idea of meeting his partner for the first time in a marriage meeting arranged by his parents to be a little pathetic. Shouldn't marriage meeting be done at a more mature age? I still don't feel like I've become an adult. We don't intend on rushing you into immediate engagement or marriage, of course not. It isn't a problem if you deepen your friendship first and then have her moved out of a family register later, when you settle down at your age. From the forceful expression Eva was giving and George's evasiveness, it seemed you could catch a glimpse of how this marriage meeting linked into everything. I'm kinda bored. Where's Beatrice? Who this other person was remained unclear, but it was surely someone profitable to Eva's family in a business sense. It felt almost like political strategies. He wanted to create a connection between the two families, if not by changing register, then at least by having them get engaged. Marriage isn't something you do after you start liking someone. It's something you get used to after you do it. If you marry just based on emotions, you'll definitely regret it. There's definitely nothing wrong with choosing a person with a secure background as your partner in life and then building up emotions of love. Aunt Eva, that's so rude to Uncle Hideyoshi. I love him, you know. I always wanted to be with him and to live my life by his side. Iwa-sama, that's wonderful. Truly splendid. Thank you. But we build up those feelings where we're husband and wife, you see? And I believe that in the future we will be much, much closer than we are now. I think that's the best way for a husband and wife to be. Although I don't think that make it alright to marry someone you don't even like. And that doesn't make it alright to marry whoever you want just as long as you like them. A wedding only lasts a moment, but your life as a married couple after that is very, very long. So you should search with prudence and not live up to the momentary emotions. Holy shit. Oh, this is so bad. Why? And don't you think that your mother and the rest of us would be better at this as a person inexperienced this in life like yourself? That may be true, but you are my pride and joy, my only son. You have grown into a fine man who could match up to anyone. And fine butler couldn't live in the register. You are the only grandson to get your father's blood. We must prudently choose a fitting partner for you. As everyone related to the Shiramiya family knew, Eva adored George so much that he was the apple on her eye. But that didn't mean that she had pumped him. She had raised him strictly, and she had grown into a charming man who wouldn't betray her expectations. That's how he was an apple of her eye. We definitely aren't deciding your partner based on what we personally stand to gain from it. I will introduce you to a truly wonderful woman who's right for you. Right now, you may still have some immature youth inside you that's turning you away from this. But at least listen to what your mother said at this point. Have I ever failed to think of severed bets to you? No, you haven't. That's all you need to think of for now. Come on now, let's go. We're keeping father waiting. Hurry to the mansion. Well, sorry you two. See you later. George bowed to the two of them, and after bowing once more to Shannon, he dashed off to the mansion. I'll be going as well then. Sorry for cutting for your fun conversation short, Jessica-chan. Shannon-chan? No. Please don't worry about it. Come on, Shannon. Let's go. Yes. It's alright. I'm sure you'll meet someone wonderful too, Jessica-chan. A wonderful person suitable for you. So, if he isn't the same level as me, you mean the guy with the bad grades? Well, that's kind of freaking sucks. And of course, you too, Shannon-chan. I'm sure that a wonderful man suitable for you will appear. Yes, thank you very much. As Eva giggled and smiled, she approached Shannon's ear, with her hand over her mouth, as thought as she tried to tell her a secret. Was she gonna... She gonna be a bitch about it? I'm sure you'll find a perfect match with a lovely servant like yourself. Have you forgotten to be grateful for your schooling? Know your place. That's not what I didn't... George is the eldest grandson carrying father's blood. He is a person who may bear the burden of the Shiramiya family someday in the future. To answer the expectation, he had studied tirelessly, entered a wonderful college, and is getting wonderful grades. Do you really think you're in his league, you incompetent, unqualified, uncultured servant? Those malicious words all poured into Shannon's ear without spilling a drop. To Shannon, it was like cold water was being poured in here. I didn't mean... This was all whispered in secret, and with the same smile as before. Jessica, who couldn't only see Eva's expression, didn't think of anything other than Eva telling Shannon some embarrassing story about love. When their secret conversation ended, Eva patted Shannon's shoulder as though to underscore her message. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll find a partner just perfect for you. Right? Alright, Jessica-chan. See you later. What a bitch! Why is she like this? Yeah, see you later. And then please tell me some more stories about you and Uncle Hideyoshi. No way. Eva laughed dryly and headed back to the entrance hall, behind Jessica, who was cheerfully waving her hand. Shannon reflected very, very deeply on those words of Eva's about knowing her place. It felt deep remorse for my belief's moment of conceit. I had forgotten. I'm furniture. Furniture isn't human, so I'm being who most feel gratitude for even being treated like a human. And I'm not permitted to wish for anything more. Even if people develop affection for furniture that they used to be using, that they're used to using, that is an emotion on the human side, and the furniture has no rights to hope for that. They should just serve with simply honesty every day. But that feeling I felt when talking with George-sama and Jessica-sama is forbidden drug for me. In other words, I may have been an emotion I must not know. Shannon, you've been too distracted for a while now. Are you feeling ill? No, my apologies. Natsuhi's words too distracted were right on the mark. Even Shannon couldn't believe that she hadn't noticed Natsuhi until she had been caught. This was supposed to be the time when she had to concentrate on the cleaning, but she had just kept singing and hadn't accomplished anything. Even if we aren't any guest, you must always be alert. Acting like this is shameful as a servant working for the Shinomiya family. Yes, I will take care from now on. The head and my husband will return very soon. Have you finished cleaning the study? Have you finished cleaning the staircase? Well, my apologies, not yet. Yes, I know. So I had Lannan do it. Oh, Lannan! Interesting. While you were plodded around cleaning the hallway, she finished cleaning the study and the staircase. That's because, I wanted to clean thoughtfully, so it took some time. Shannon was simple and honest, so she would always carry out your tasks seriously and properly without any omission. So she was always slow with her work. In contrast, Lunan skillfully cut corners where they should be cut. So she could complete her job with a result that looked similar to an outsider, but in much shorter time. In other words, she was shrewd. Compared to her, you would say that Shannon, who was just talked back to Natsuhi when she was already in a bad mood, was not shrewd in the slightest. Of course, there was nothing that Natsuhi couldn't stand more than a servant talking back. Her forehead creased, and she spoke sternly. And yet, her speech was slow and admonishing, which was terrifying beyond measure, and finally made Shannon realize she had said the wrong thing. In that case, you shall clean as thoughtfully as you desire. Shannon, I urge you to clean the reception hall right now. It's an important hall, where several pictures treasured by the head are displayed, and the honored guests of the Shinomiya family are arrived. Clean it thoughtfully so that not a speck of dust remain, and so that even you are satisfied. Of course, you will finish today. Until you finish and report to me, you will not be permitted any food or rest. Oh, why? Why are you like this? She's not your fucking slave, you bitch. What is this shit? I hate it so much. Yeah, Beatrice is a good guy, guys. I don't know. Beatrice is awesome. She makes us a favor by killing all these people. I don't actually mean it, but you know, holy fuck. You will not be permitted any further rest, understood? Yes, madam. That's good. Servants should endeavor to use only those words. The next time you talk back, I will give you an even more severe punishment, so keep that in mind. Kill yourself, Natsuhi. Engraven those words in your heart. Yes, madam. Thank you for your guidance. You're welcome. Natsuhi headed off down the corridor, making a gesture as if her headache was troubling her. When Shannon couldn't see her anymore, she hung her head and sighed. This happened because I let my thoughts take me. I might be bad at everything I do, but I should be at least able to carry out the cleaning as well as an average person can, right? I can't even do that properly. I'm so pathetic, it makes me cry. And there's something even more pathetic. Not only was I unable to perform a single bit of cleaning well, but just now, when Natsuhi was scolding me, I was envisioning him appearing and rescuing me. Uh-oh. If only George-sama has been here, perhaps he would have casually stepped in and saved me. I'm sure he would show up cheerfully, intentionally acting like he doesn't know what's going on, numbly change the subject, and make me forget I was even reprimanded by Natsuhi. I keep envisioning him, suddenly appearing from the other side of the door, or the other end of a hallway. I envisioned the kind of person that would be an appropriate partner for him in a marriage meeting, and I envisioned how unfitting I am for him. Eva had told me that clearly. It had repeated endlessly through my dreams. "You're still as clumsy as always, Nathan. Marin has been in a bad mood since this morning. You spoke out of turn when you should have hung your head in silence." "Karan-kun!" Karan was suddenly here. His footsteps were always quieter than the cat's, and he had no trace of his presence. She probably wouldn't have noticed him, no matter how long she stood here. The expression on Karan's face was hatred. That expression he was making, he surely made for Shannon, who didn't know how to do it to herself. Madame and Lennon could go to hell. She knows for Madame checks and only clears those areas. Her clearing just now was like that. I know because I was watching. She wasn't clearing in any real sense of a word. She was just the worst kind of prize, leeching off of your thoughtful work. You mustn't use such dirty words. Dirty words pollute your clear soul, Karan-kun." "Such a Christian girl, so you don't use words in front of me at least, alright?" Karan faced away, acting sulky. It was a dishonest reaction, very like Karan-kun, but I was a little happy. He got angry in my place. "Cleaning the reception hall will be tough. I'll help." "Thank you. But I was the one Madam ordered, so don't worry." Don't you have your own work, Karan-kun?" "It's a filthy job. My soul has corrupted long ago." Karan then hung his head and bit his lower lip. "Just saying that you'll help enough for me. If you don't go back to your own job, even you will receive punishment." "Oh shit, it was Shannon. Just saying that you'll help is enough for me. If you don't go back to your own job, even you will receive punishment, and that would make me sad." Shannon knew Karan's character well. Sometimes he didn't reflect on himself. If I don't refuse forcefully, he will help me even if it means neglecting his own job. Karan was a little sad that his favor had been rejected, but he realized that in the end going too far would also cause him pain, and he gave a single small sigh. "Fine. Do your best, Nathan." "Yes. Besides, I'm also partly to blame." "You aren't at fault here at all, Nissan." "No, I am. So go now." Kankun's face showed that he still hadn't completely accepted it, but he stopped being persistent and disappeared. Even though Kanan has been... Ouch. Even though Kanan-kun has given me words of comfort when I was down, even though I was still dejected because I hadn't been him, that was simply a sin. Okay, hold on. Let me take a 5-minute break. Be right back. Hold on. Hmm. Ooh. So you make it better. Give me that better. Mm-hmm. 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 Hmm. Okay. It doesn't work. So I'm going to be here for like an hour, maybe more. I'm kind of tired after yesterday. I didn't get a lot of sleep also. And my voice feels weird. I should actually have been rested today, but like, resting is not fun. Streaming is fun. I'm interested in the story. Oops. Okay, sorry. Even though I was still dejected because I hadn't been him, there was simply a sun. Ouch. 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 Far beyond any dream. So squeaky, such a squeaky chair. Far beyond any dream, like. Far beyond any dreams the likes of me could be permitted to see. No place. Shannon, who had neglected breakfast, was already sitting to feel your thoughts attenuate. But if she didn't finish cleaning the reception hall, she shouldn't receive Natsuhi permissions to eat. That cruel Natsuhi would surely told the kitchen of that. I have to respectfully receive Madam's punishment. That's right. My position in the world is furniture, and I have been intoxicated by a dream that is beyond me. I finished cleaning the hallway and went to the reception hall. Maybe hunger make a nose more sensitive. The kitchen was far away on new background. But somehow I could smell the delicious aroma waiting from here, stimulating my empty stomach all the more. Until I finished up here, I could not get any soup. This is so dumb. This is awful. Not only is she gonna work worse if you're not gonna feed her, she would just die out of fucking exhaustion. Why would you ever do this? Are you punishing her, or are you gonna punish yourself when she gonna die on your workplace and you're gonna explain this to the police? Can you hide the body? Huh? You can't, you loser. I just had to prepare myself. Several portraits were hung in a reception hall. One of those portraits was thought among the servants to hold a special meaning. It was a portrait of a witch. That wasn't its true name, but everyone in the mansion called it that. The name of the woman with elegant blonde hair drawn as the subject of the portrait was Beatrice. It was also whispered that she might be former mistress of a family head, Kinza, and also that she was the great witch who had given Kinza his legendary gold. The witch Beatrice, master of the Knight of Nakajima, she was gracious to those who respected her, but she would always curse those who made light of her. It was in Sharon's character not to neglect rules and beliefs such as those, so she thought of the portrait of her other master as this person. As that person herself, and always treated it carefully, treasuring it. And it had become part of her daily routine to talk inside her own head to the witch who only existed inside the portrait. She was furniture. Furniture doesn't complain, cannot complain. So she had no right to speak her mind about her difficult days, no right to open her mouth and say those words. So she at least spoke her mind inside her heart. Those words she couldn't say aloud, she spoke inside her heart and protested from the formless witch. Of course, the witch didn't answer. She never consulted, and she never laughed it off. Shan could only interpret that silence as she liked, as though the witch was at least listening attentively. Beatrice-sama, please listen to me, wordless as I am. As Shannon wiped the dust from the witch portrait, she spoke inside her heart. Just as Iwa-sama says, I am truly an incompetent and uncultured furniture. I am not a person, so maybe I have no rights to love. But in that case, why was I given a heart which can know love? Shan paused here and her head and held back her tears for a time. The sound of a rain which had started falling along with the chill air in the reception hall made her feel as though she's shabbiness has increased another level. Real furniture doesn't have silly things like a heart, so they don't have to love people, right? So they don't feel pain. Just had one normal conversation with a boy and immediately change her whole fucking life around it, okay? If I'm just another piece of furniture, why do I have a heart? If it's going to be this hard and it's pitiful, I wish I've never been given this stupid heart. I see. To have given a heart to furniture. I'm using games that one plays sometimes. The witch who never answered or laughed, answered and laughed! My imagination? Hearing things? No. After all, the next words became a voice, and I could hear... Fuck my life. And I could hear them not with my heart, but with my ears. Humans have been Humans have been continually searching for the elements that make up the world since before the Christian era. It is said that the ancient Greeks tried to explain the world with 4 elements of air, fire, water, and earth. And after that, over several millennia, humans added several elements to those 4, trying to explain the world with host interpretations, the 5 elements, the 6 elements, the 7 elements, the 8 elements, the 12 elements. But they could never explain one true single element. However, a single man appeared by the guidance of a star and finally explained a single element that makes up the world. Do you know what it is? Who? Shan fearfully turned around. Yay! Right here, she existed. Not as an illusion, in reality. The contrast made by the lighting made it clear that this was not a daydream. It is love. The witch of the portrait elegantly held the golden pipe to her mouth and giggled. She laughed at the ignorance which caused mankind's thoughts to stray far from the most simple answer. That men explain everything in the world with love. That is a single element, with the smallest possible numbers that man fully explained how the world was constructed. How simple and clear, how splendid, exhilarating, pleasant and thrilling. And the year that man was born eventually came to be known as Anno Domini. Shannon, I'm fucking tired of this Bible fanfiction. Holy shit. Shannon lost any words to speak. She thought that when first meeting an unknown guest, her first words should out that person's name. But without saying anything, Shannon knew this person's name, so she refrained. No, surely a person of this island asking this person for her name would be a greatest disrespect, because she was the other master of the island in addition to Kinzo. But Beatrice-sama! Indeed, I am Beatrice. The face people make when they first see me hasn't changed after 1000 years. The witch giggled at how Shannon's reaction didn't betray her expectations. Shannon realized that she had met with a being that mustn't be met, and she took a step back. That's where the wall and the portrait were, so even as she gazed at the witch, she supported the witch's portrait on her back. Your worries are due to love, which is a single element of the world. In other words, everything of this world. When that is not noble, it means the world is not noble. Fuck, that means the world is not whole. It is like continually scooping water into a flask with a hole in it. If you scoop a scoop, it will never fill an eternal desert for the heart. The original sins that humans are founded upon and everything is made of. Understand? Even Adam and Eve learned to put fruit of knowledge to their lips and love. Because of that, humans were chased out of the paradise and became human. Which means that what makes our human is knowing love and suffering. Girl of a kind heart, you should be proud. Now that you have known it, you are no longer furniture. Now you are a human. I recognize it upon my name. Oh. It is hard for an inferior being to understand. Oh well. Forgive me. It has been a long time since I've spoken with human. I shall apologize for my talkativeness. Without expecting a reply from Shannon, Beatrice laughed pleasantly for a while. I am not sure that this is sufficient for an apology, but I can use my power to grant that desire of yours, if you'd like. Huh? The meaning of those words surprised Shannon even more than the witch's sudden appearance. I'm offering to bring you and one you love together. Normally, I would demand something of equal value in return. Huh, but I'm in a good mood. You have never failed to pay your respects to me in the past. This is something worth rewarding. Do you really mean it? Normally Shannon would have been shocked by the guest who lacked realism and wouldn't have been able to speak. However, as though she had already been caught in the witch's trap, Shannon responded to the witch. With my magic, it is no trouble at all to arrange for the pair of people with feelings for each other to be joined. You do mean it, don't you? Those words almost escaped Shannon's lips, but she held herself back with her final reserve of reason. A witch is a witch, a sinister being. She's so cool. Trust her, she's awesome. The witch Beatrice is clearly trying to slip in through the cracks in my heart and take me prisoner. That sort of temptation with so many fairy tale pictures book has warned me about when I was young was right in front of me now. Fear too is a form of respect. It may be pleasant for me, but we will make no progress this way. I may be no different from the image of a detestable witch your human hold in your mind. However, I respond with goodwill to those who respect me. Aren't humans the same? Although I doubt any human will respond with goodwill to a hostile attitude like that. My apologies, I didn't mean... Shannon finally realized that her hostility was rude to the guest, and she finally digested the words had been spoken to her in a short while ago. You are no longer furniture, now you're human. The more she reflected upon those words, the more Shannon felt as though Beatrice could understand all of your suffering. You said something, about the reward. What did you mean? I say that I can arrange for you to be found to the man who had captured your heart. You can think of it as a form of gratitude for diligently polishing my portrait all the time. Calm yourself, I ask for nothing in return. I am generous. However, though I ask for nothing in return, I do have a request. Look, here it comes. The other Shannon inside your heart sent you the warning. This is what she has been so often warned in all those scary picture books she had read when she was little. Do you know of the small torii the shrine has been constructed on a reef in the ocean very near this island? Shan immediately remembered it. When you reached Okajima by boat, there was a torii and a shrine on the reef which was too small to even be called an islet. She had the feeling that Kumasawa had told you its story, but she couldn't remember it very well. A traveling mountaineering ascetic? Or someone had built it, operated it, or something. Yes, I know about it, but what does it... I will not explain anything from square one to the person who does not know of demons. To take a long story short, it's causing problems for me. There is actually a certain mirror kept inside the shrine. I want you to break it. It was a very suspicious request. Shannon didn't know its history, but anything that might be stored inside the shrine would have to be something scared. Sacred? Sacred. And she wants me to break it? Why would someone as powerful as a witch be unable to do that herself and be asking for human for help? There was no need for Shannon to speak her thoughts aloud. Beatrice started talking about this reasonable question before Shannon could give her the answer. The magic power of that mirror opposite my own. I cannot explain it well with human words. By way of example, let us speak of a difference between utensils. That mirror is a fork, and my power is a soup. You cannot drink soup with a fork, correct? If only the imposition of the mirror were gone, I could prepare a spoon perfect for drinking soup. If only I had that, I could drink soup or even dig my way into the rocky prison. I could even scoop eyeballs out. Is that what it was? I don't know what you're talking about. If that's because I am uncultured, I apologize. It comes down to this. If you spare the effort to break the most vexing of mirrors for me, as a reward, I will grant your wish. I'm in a very good mood today. If you desire, you may change your wish and I can give you all the gold I bestow upon Kinza. I should have went for gold. Why do you need a boy if she has a gold? I will have to decline. What did you say? When she heard Shannon's words, Beatrice realized for the first time that her expectation has been betrayed. If there is a reason, tell me. If there is misunderstanding, I shall resolve it. I don't really know the reason, but until today the island was been at peace and nothing bad has happened. So even if I don't break the mirror, the peace that has existed until today should continue into the future. I see. That is quite right. It's just as you say. If you don't break it, the same unbreakable days have passed until today will continue into tomorrow, the day after. Why don't I give you an absolute guarantee? Upon my name of Beatrice, I say to you, the same unbreakable days that have passed until today will continue into tomorrow and day after. And so forever, in perpetuity. Perpetuity, really? Shan was seized by the eerie illusion. The mirror was most likely something to restrain the witch, so breaking the mirror should have been something done for the witch's sake. And yet it felt as though Shannon had to do it for her own sake. It felt like some premise has been switched. I have done nothing more than give you the opportunity to have your feelings fulfilled as a reward. It's up to you whether you break it or not. If you break it, I will grant your wish. If you do not break it, so tomorrow up until today will continue for all time. Your wish will not be granted for all eternity. Do you understand what I'm saying? Best one. Oh, good one. The witch was telling her. She was pressing her, saying to break the mirror as if she wanted to be joined with George. And she was declaring that if she didn't break it, then her feelings would definitely never be fulfilled. Please, stop it. I don't want to hear something like that. To cause you pain was not what I wanted. Well, feeling madness from love is the best thing about humans. You should enjoy the emotions to your heart contents. However, if you wish to borrow my power, you can break that mirror at any time. And you can call and you can yell my name and awaken me. I will definitely keep my promise. This way, you should have no complaints, right? I won't force you to decide right now. I take that it's easier for you? Was this deal ultimately something she could feel at ease with? Definitely not. To Shannon, who was burning with love, tormented by passion, being tempted forever by a way of escape was far too cruel a trial. I won't set a time limit on that promise, but there is a time limit to the magic that can grant this wish. That limit is not mine to determine. It will be determined by your loved one himself. Do you understand what I mean? Oh, that's good. I don't know. The limit is the time you love me and choose the person you should pledge his love to. I am a witch, but I'm not a demon. I possess no spell which can tear apart two who love each other, you see? I hear that your loved one will soon be attending a marriage meeting. You may have stronger feelings for that man than anyone else in the world. However, what does it mean that you are the most appropriate for him, does it? I know who will be having the marriage meeting with. That girl is the most suitable for the Shiremiya George in the entire world. She came from a good school, achieved good grades, and has composure and prudence. She is more beautiful than you, wiser than you, more suitable than you. Why would an ignorant, incompetent, uncultured girl like you be suitable? Beatrice, don't be a bitch. You know that better than anyone. You are the most suitable. Fuck, you are the most unsuitable. Even imagining that you and the Shiremiya George would be joining in sinful and foolish. Know your place. Have you forgotten to be grateful for your schooling? Know your place. Uh-oh, sorry. George is the eldest grandson, caring for his blood. Fuck, wrong voice. George is the eldest grandson, caring for his blood. He's a person who may bear the burden of the Shiremiya family someday in the future. To answer that expectation, he has studied tirelessly, entered a wonderful college, and is getting wonderful grades. None of this matters. Do you really think that you're his weak, you incompetent, unqualified, uncultured servant? She laughs. Stop it! Stop bullying Shannon! Who the hell are you? At the same time as Shannon held her head, trying to protect her heart from the blade of Beatrice's words, Shannon ran in front of her. Shannon didn't care who this woman was. As long as she knew she was an enemy tormenting Shannon, who he loved and respected as a sister, nothing else mattered. Shannon-kun, stay back! This person is... Fuck. It seems that Karan also realized that the being standing before him was a witch of the portrait, and also that she was a terrifying being. I must wanted to make Shannon take her reward, but it seems I said too much and ended up tormenting her. I should apologize, at least you recognize this. But I will leave the promise as a reward for you. If you need my power, call me at any time. I have already told you though. Well then, with that, leave us disperse for tonight. Hostile gazes may be pleasant, but they are bad for the figure, you see? Be red. I don't know who you are, but you're threatening Shannon. Don't ever show yourself again. It seems like Cannon's words made the witch horribly displeased. So, you do not choose your words carefully, Lowborn? I am gracious to those who respect me, but brutal to those who do not. While she still smiled, the witch expression began to warp, and an oppressively feeling that couldn't be described with any of the five senses gradually filled the room. Even though they couldn't comprehend what it was, they immediately realized it to be something terrifying. If you were swimming in the ocean and something large waved by the water beneath you, you would want to escape to the land even before you learned what it was. This was the same as that. Please stop, Beatrice-sama! Kankun is still a child. I apologize for his language. Kanon blocked the way to Shannon at the risk of his life. There was tense sweat on his forehead. In this moment, the witch certainly had Kanon's fate in her clutches. She didn't even need to move a finger. She had Kanon's fate so readily in her grasp that she could crush it completely with a single twist of her own smile. Kanon also understood that, which is why he was sweating, and his knees felt weak. However, Beatrice afterly realized that feeling of tension and laughed. Very well. At your request, I will grant him special pardon. Kanan, is it? In defense to her, I shall forgive you tonight and send you off. Be thankful. Well then, we will disperse for tonight. In parting, I shall leave a single souvenir. Hold out the palm of your left hand, you two. Beatrice grinned boredly and stamped her fingers. Whereupon their left hands stretched out in front of them and their palms opened against their will. It was a strange sensation, as though only their left hand has become someone else's. It felt like their left hand alone has become puppets. Pulled by strings hanging down from the ceiling. What do you think you're doing? Conan resisted, but he couldn't take back the freedom of his left hand. Don't struggle. It would not take long. Beatrice held her Bible off, and from inside the smoke, gold-colored sparkling dust hovered in the air. That glitter eventually became several gold butterflies. And beautiful butterflies danced freely through the reception hall, creating a fantastical and beautiful world. And two of those butterflies aligned in the palm of Shannon and Kanon's hands. Ouch! There was a sharp pain, as though they had been burnt. When the two of them tried to examine the palms, there was no trace left of the inability to move their bodies, which has been there up till a second ago. A bruise? What is... On the palm of your hand, a small burn mark has been made, the size of a pea. Furthermore, it was shaped like a butterfly. What is this supposed to be? Apparently, Kanon had the same bruise on his hand. He stared at the witch hurtfully. It's a simple greeting. I have no hidden motive. It's nothing more than a bruise, so it will heal in just a few days. It requires no treatment. There is a mark so that tomorrow you will not forget that I truly was here and that I made a promise to you. The impact of a meeting with me is strong. Sometimes, at the next morning, people try to think of their meetings with me as a dream or illusion. You should think slowly and carefully, Shannon. And you should probably take a good rest, look at my mark tomorrow morning, and try thinking again. I shall not force you into anything. You should freely decide your future, by your own will. However, to think that the object of your desire can be granted for such a measured compensation. It would annoy the greater artists who write plays about flight and love to no end. Fuck this. Well then, let us meet again when the chance arises. It was truly entertaining to have a conversation again after so much time. Farewell, furniture. What a loser. I love her. She's awesome. Beatrice's body crumbled like a smoke and blew away. It was golden smoke, a flight of golden butterflies. They scattered in directions inside the reception hall, leaving a golden mist behind as they disappeared into thin air. After that, only one cold silence has left. The extreme silence was enough to make both of them think that they might have been daydreaming until just a moment ago, which is why the witch has left it. She has left a mark to make it possible for them to think that it was a daydream. As Shannon and Conan thought back on the butterfly bruises in their hand and the pain they had felt when those had been left, they stood here for some time, stunned and motionless. And from that day on, Shan was tormented by days of suffering and conflict. End of a chapter. I don't feel like I can do it anymore. I'm sorry, I'm tired as hell. Wonderful Utopia, yeah, another chapter. Okay, chapter end. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, if you watched. See ya. Bye-bye. See you on Tuesday.